Hope we got you good, Coach.
Can hear you loud and clear, Tad.
I like it. I like that
All right.
kicking off, Neil. That's good. That gives you a good look.
All right, Coach, we're going to start out with Justin.
Hey, Coach. I asked Deshaun this a couple minutes ago when he had joined us, just talking about kind of what he was trying to accomplish in the offseason and points of emphasis for strengthening his game. Just wondering what your observations and your take would be on that, where you thought he really wanted to take his game to the next level before hitting the court here with you guys for the preseason.
Yeah, Deshaun's going to be a key for us this year. There's no doubt about it. And obviously, he's a tremendous shooter. I know he struggled down the stretch last year, but we know he's a great shooter and he's made big shots for us. Obviously, the one against Dayton was as big a shot as we've had probably since Skia hit his against Kansas. But Deshaun is such a weapon because he's 6'7", 6'6". He's 225 pounds. He's big and strong. He can stretch the defense from three. He's got a good mid-range game, and also he can get to the rim. And I think we've got to do a better job this year of putting him in position to make plays offensively, not only for himself, but also, he's a good passer. And Deshaun can play out of ball screens effectively. He can be a great isolation driver, and we got to get him three-point shots as well. So I think it's a combination of the coaching staff. We got to do a better job of getting him the ball in positions where he can be successful. But also, I think our team has to do a good job of just recognizing. And I know McKinley and I have talked about that, as recently as last week about we need to get Deshaun more involved offensively.
All right, Neil.
Hey, Coach, kind of a broad brush question here. You're entering your 11th year. When you took this job 10 years ago, did you look this far into the future and say, this is where I'd like to be in 10 years? Or how do you look at the last 10?
Well, number one, it's funny you mentioned that, Neil. I remember driving around with my wife and our realtor when we were looking for houses, when we were moving from Greeley to Boulder. And I told her, and I said, we got to be careful here. I may not have this job for more than, 2 or 3 or 4 years. So let's lower the bar, so to speak. But, now that I've been here 10 years and going into year 11, I look back, there's obviously been some things we're really, really proud of. But, Neil, I just feel like there's so much unfinished business, to do. We've only won one NCAA tournament game. I look at it like we've been to 5 of them. I know technically we've only been to 4, but I do think I need to talk to Troy about putting an asterisk by the 2019-20 season. But in all seriousness, I just feel like there's so much room for improvement, in terms of not just getting the NCAA tournament, but advancing once we get there. And that's really the next step for this program, and that's something I'm focused on. I'd like that to start this year. But I also know that the foundation of this program moving forward, when I look at that freshman class every day on the floor, and then I see the guys that are coming in next year, the foundation's set for, at least for the foreseeable future of a lot more, hopefully, tournaments and deep runs in tournaments.
Thanks, Tad.
You bet, Neil.
Adam, you're up.
Hi, Coach. What have you seen out of Keyshawn Bartholomew in terms of his development the last 13 months or so, and how do his skills mesh with McKinley in the backcourt?
Yeah, Keyshawn's going to be critical for us this year because, number one, it's going to allow McKinley to move off the ball a little bit, which I think will allow him to be more of a scorer and play off the ball. We know that the ball's going to be in McKinley's hands a lot as well, and Keyshawn is a good enough shooter where he can play off the ball. So I think those guys in the backcourt will really be able to play off each other very, very well. It also will hopefully allow us to limit, McKinley's minutes. I mean, we know he's going to play a lot of minutes for us, but you know, he gives us a real backup kind of point guard option that last year maybe we didn't quite feel was one of the strengths of this team. So, and Keyshawn, one of the things I love about him is his ability in the open floor. He's got different gears. I mean, he made a play in practice today, you know, in transition where he can get from point A to point B very quickly, probably faster than any player on our team. So if we can get him in space in transition, he's a dynamic player, and he can make plays for himself as well as for teammates. We just have to get him playing off 2 feet, not charging, and playing under control. But Keyshawn's going to be a key for this year's team as well as Deshaun is.
All right, Coach. Looks like final questions from Pat.
Hey, Coach. Wanted to ask about the Kansas State MTE. A couple weeks ago, you'd said that was going to be a tournament-style format. It looks like you're actually going to have a set matchup with Kansas State in the second game. Did something change? And is that a preferable matchup anyway when you start talking net rankings and all that sort of stuff?
Well, you know, that's news to me. I gotta talk to Bruce Weber about that. We haven't talked for another week or so, for a week, and I know that's what originally we had talked about, both those options. So I don't want to sound, you know, uninformed, but I guess I'm uninformed. So I gotta, you know, this non-conference. The one thing about the Kansas State MTE is I said, okay, we got it. We're good. You know, there's 4 teams in it. We're going to get 2 games there. And I've moved on to other non-conference scheduling, which, you know, we're continually trying to finish up. But I got to talk to Bruce about that. And again, I'm okay either way. I think it'd be good for K-State to play us. It'd be good for us to play K-State. But before that, I want to, you know, South Dakota State is a quality opponent, and it's one of those games. It's much like the Northern Iowa game last year for us, a real dangerous game because they're a quality team with, you know, a lot of their top players back, almost all of them. So first things first. We'll worry about K-State if and when we get to them.
All right, Coach, we got one last question from Justin.
Coach, we talked to you a little bit about Jariah the other day, and just in talking to him a few minutes ago, to Sean as well, it really seems like Jariah, not so much, well, certainly on the court, but maybe more importantly off the court, really has just been meshing with these guys. And he said he really didn't feel like a newcomer when he got here, and that he has been able to get to know these guys well. Have you been able to observe that relationship off the court kind of developing?
You know, Justin, that's a good question because with COVID, I'm not around our players a lot off the court as much as I'd like to be, or I quite frankly would need to be. But that's just the reality of where we are right now. What I do know is Jariah has done a terrific job this summer when he got here of meshing with the freshmen, because most of the guys that were here this summer were kind of living either with each other or within close proximity to each other. He's done a great job of building relationships and kind of being a mentor for those freshmen, because a lot of the freshmen came in, they didn't get a chance to know our veterans. McKinley wasn't here this summer, you know. So Jariah did a great job and has done a great job of meshing with our veteran players as well as our new players. And he's a very mature kid. He's very personable. He's a guy that is not afraid to talk. And I think he's been a great teammate so far. And the other thing about Jariah that I found out on the floor, Justin, is he's a great talker, and he knows how to get his shots off. He knows how to, you know, help other people get their shots off. And he's really stepped in as a grad transfer, first one we've had, and done a terrific job from a leadership standpoint, given that he is a new player himself.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Okay. Easy enough, guys. Thank you.
Coach.